Joe. And in one corner, we got a follow-up to a movie that came out 20 years ago. And in the other corner, we got a follow-up to a sleeper hit on DVD. Which one's the better follow-up? Well, this is what the average consumer calls the Battle of the Sequels. First up, Dumb and Dumber 2.
To Felcher. Harry, I'm pregnant. Please call me.
What do you think it means, Harry?
Floyd, I'm gonna be a dad. Ah! Look at the postmark. 1991.
I had a daughter. I gave her up for adoption.
Well, what if we go track her down?
You're hot for my daughter. What? Am I right? What? Am I right? That's insane.
Now let me begin by saying I'm giving this movie a recommend. To explain why I'm giving it a recommend, the best thing to do is to break down what this movie is. The plot is, 20 years after the original, Harry and Lloyd are reunited, and they go on a cross-country trip to find Harry's long-lost, newly discovered daughter. Now, here's the thing. This movie is basically a copy and paste sequel, kind of like Ghostbusters 2, Home Alone 2. It's the same plot as the first one. On top of that, there is a lot of referencing the first movie and a lot of callback jokes to the first one. There was a lot of referencing the first one. And I felt like just one more reference to the first movie would have been too much. But there wasn't. There was just enough. I mean, one more would have been too much, but there wasn't. There was just enough. Now with that being said, with everything that was calling back and referencing the first one, there still was some original material in this that I liked. Everything that was original in this movie that wasn't referencing the first one, everything that was original, I liked. I liked all of the new jokes that they came up with. I mean, it was very fun to watch. Again, but I still want to go back and talk about how this was a copy of the first one, because in the first one, you got these two simple guys, these dim-witted guys, who have these good intentions of returning this briefcase, and then they get entangled into this kidnapping plot. The plot of the first one is kind of simple. They want to return a suitcase that turns out to be ransom money. That's it. With the second one, it's a little bit more complicated. I'm going to try and explain it one time, and if you get confused, that just proves my point. Now, in this one, Harry finds out he has a daughter that the woman he knocked up gave up for adoption. Now, that girl has been adopted by a very wealthy scientist, and that wealthy scientist's wife is trying to kill him. And Harry and Lloyd kind of interfere with that by trying to locate the daughter, and along the way they have to return a package and go to a science convention. Yeah, I know it sounds complicated. I'm making it sound complicated, but when you're watching the movie, you're focused on the characters. Now that's why I brought all of this up. The plot, a little bit complicated, but not when you're watching it, because you're too busy enjoying the characters, which is what this and the first movie were meant for. Just enjoying these characters interacting with each other and interacting with other people. That's why I feel this is a good, funny movie. I mean, some people might say, oh, the raunchiness is lowbrow, it's not very well thought out, it's too referencing the first one. No, because you are focused on these characters, it did its job. It did what it was supposed to do. That's why I'm giving it a recommend. Yes, it is copy and paste from the first one. But guess what? The first one was great. So they could be copying worse movies. So with that being said, I'm going to leave off and see how the other follow-up is doing. The trailer doesn't make it look so copy and paste, it makes it look more original. Well, I kind of like the original Horrible Bosses. So is being an original sequel bad? We'll find out in part 2.